So the Triple J Hottest 100 Australian Songs of All Time is officially open for voting, and I've cast my votes. My name's Liam, and this is my channel Solitude. Thanks for tuning into this one. I'm going to take you through the 10 songs that I voted for in the Hottest 100 Australian Songs of All Time. This is obviously right up my alley, as I love Australian music and I like to talk about Triple J a lot too, so I know you're expecting this one. So when it comes for voting in Hottest 100 counts, there are a few different ways of approaching it, and let me kind of just walk you through my thought process. Now, I know this might sound kind of crazy for some people, because obviously the first way that most people probably think is, well, what are my 10 favorite songs? I'm just going to vote for them. And that's a very valid way of approaching it. For me, that's one part of the process. I also like to think about what songs do I think deserve a vote or my vote, and I want to try and factor that in as much as possible. And also, what songs do I want to see get high in the count that I think are a chance of getting in there? So that's pretty much the three parameters that I'm looking at, and I've landed on 10 songs that I'm comfortable voting for. So let's run through the 10 right now. Now, to start off with, I was thinking something like classic Australian music that, you know, still gets played a lot on that kind of classic Australian rock radio all the time. A song that might pop up on a playlist at a shopping center, something that everyone knows. I want to put something like that in there. And probably my favorite band from that sort of era would have to be Crowded House, I think. So I'm going to go with Fall at Your Feet. Now, this song actually isn't on the nomination list, which really bothers me. And I think it's a huge mistake by Triple J for not putting it on there. But in my opinion, I think it's the best Crowded House song. It deserves to be in my top 10. And I don't think it's going to make the 100 because it's not on the nomination list. Next up, I'm going straight to what is my favorite, personally, Australian songs of all time. And I've got to go to the stuff that kind of like defined my youth and young manhood, and probably the band that I resonate with the most when I started to really become an independent, strong music fan, I reckon would probably be Violent Soho, and I've got to go straight to the top for them, and that's Covered in Chrome. This song and Violent Soho defined my early 20s as an Australian music fan, and I think this is a big chance of making it pretty high in the count, maybe top 10, top 20. Okay, straight to the top again for some favorites, and I've got to go for, you know, some of those bands that really resonate with me from Australian culture and my era of music as well. And growing up in the 2000s, I'd say one of those bands would have to be Silverchair. Now, I considered going with Straight Lines, but I have to go with my gut on this one, and I'm voting for Tomorrow by Silverchair because I think that's just going to be the one that will go the highest, and I just want to pump Silverchair the most. From that sort of similar era, I'm going with a Powderfinger song too, and it's always going to be a toss-up between My Happiness and These Days. I think it is for everyone, but for me, I'm personally gravitating towards These Days a little more. I don't know what it is about the song that gets it over the top of My Happiness for me, but I don't know, I guess it's probably just that little bit more of emotional push when I hear These Days as opposed to My Happiness. So that's why it gets the vote for me. Now, I'm not really sure which of these two songs is going to come in higher. I think they're both a chance for top 10. Traditionally, we've seen These Days peak higher on Hottest 100 counts, but in like your Triple M counts, My Happiness goes higher. So we're not really sure where it's going to land, but my vote goes for These Days. Okay, next up, I'm going back to more recent stuff that I've really resonated with in the Australian music scene, and I can't really go past Tame Impala. I've got to put a Tame Impala song in there. I talk about them a lot on this channel, and it's a tough one again, because where do I go here? Do I go for what is going to be the biggest and most successful song, which is probably going to be The Less I Know The Better? I personally don't resonate with that song a lot. When that Currents album came out, that song really didn't catch my ear that much at all. I was really surprised to hear that one be the one that everyone loved. So I'm going to go with Elephant. That's my favorite Tame Impala song. It's really, in my opinion, the one that put them on the map the most to start off with. And, you know, I love my traditional sort of rock instrumentation, guitars and drums. So Tame Impala's best song in that sort of feel and genre, I think, is Elephant. It's eligible on the nomination list, so I think it's a big chance to get in the Hottest 100. I think it'll land probably about 50, and I'm voting for it. I'm sticking with West Australian feel for my next vote here because you would all know if you follow my channel that I'm a big fan of WA music, and my favourite WA song of all time has to be Leaving Home by Jebediah, so I'm voting for that one. Now, there's probably a toss-up between Leaving Home and Harpoon being Jebediah's two biggest songs. I think they're both a chance for getting in the Hottest 100, but personally, I gravitate towards Leaving Home a little more. I just love everything about that song. I love the chorus. I love the way it builds beautifully through that bridge to come into the last chorus. And I don't know, something about that song just really sounds super Western Australian to me. Okay, next up, I'm thinking classic again. Now, we're going back a few generations before my time, but a song that has really resonated with me more and more as I've grown older. It's a classic Australian song. It still gets a lot of attention and airplay. And I don't know, there's something about this song that just seems really beautiful, and the lyrics are so cryptic, and I guess the song just really resonates with me, and that's The Churches Under the Milky Way. I'm going to put this one in my top 10. Now, these next two that I'm voting for is more on the kind of, I think they just deserve it sort of vote, and I'm going to vote for Hilltop Hoods with the Nosebleed Section. Now, I think this song is a big chance to actually win the count and be number one, and personally, I'm not the biggest hip-hop fan. You probably know that about me if you follow my channel, but I do love this song. There's just something about this song that really works on a musical level, and I think that every Australian who likes alternative music really loves this song. So in my opinion, I think it just deserves the credit for being like the windbreaker hip-hop Australian song, and I'd love to see it win the count. So that's why I'm voting for it. Next up is another song that I think will contend for that number one and just deserves my vote. That's Somebody That I Used to Know by Gotye featuring Kimbra. This is a big shot to win, especially with the virality around that Doechii remix right now. I love this song to bits. I love everything about it. This song has never got annoying to me, despite the fact that it's been massively overplayed. I think there's just something super unique about this song. It's timeless. I think we'll still be playing this song in 50, 60 years time. Okay, I've got one more spot left, and this was where it was kind of tough to choose where I wanted to go with my 10th vote. And I was kind of looking back on all the songs I voted for, and I thought, I haven't really picked anything in that kind of like early 2000s time period of Australian music, which was a really pivotal time for me getting into music generally. And I wanted to kind of think about what was a song that I really loved in that kind of early 2000s when I was a kid growing up here in Australia and getting into Australian music. And I had to go with The Vines' Get Free. Now, this song, I still really love it to this day. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this song in their votes. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't make the 100. I would love to see it make the 100. But I just think that this is one of the greatest Australian rock songs ever written. It's just such a loud and rambunctious song. I love how hard it hits. I love the vocal delivery. I love the drums. I love the guitars. And it always reminds me of just being a kid and the Top Spin tennis game, which I played a lot on the Xbox, original Xbox, around that time period. So that's going to be my 10th vote. Now, I did have quite a long short list when I was coming up with these 10, and here are some of the other songs that I considered putting in there that didn't quite make my top 10, so check out my other interested songs. Now, what songs are you voting for? Feel free to put your top 10 in the comments section. What song do you think is going to win the count? What do you think of my top 10 songs? Do you think that any of the ones I've voted for are going to be high, low, or not make it at all? Feel free to comment and come back for more. I will be making a video predicting some of the high rating songs when the count is nearing in late July, so stick around for that one.